Stepping up to the couch, it's Brian, who led the league last season in cracked screens. But with his new athletic case, it looks like that won't be the case. Touchdown, Brian!
Yo, what is up guys, it's me Bagely. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We got a few things to talk about going on in the NBA world today, so let's not waste any time, let's just get right into it. To start off today, I'd imagine it's a pretty good time to be a Sacramento Kings fan right about now, as after being one of the most unfortunate organizations in the NBA, well, for pretty much their entire existence, the Sacramento Kings are now one of the most promising teams in the league, as they have gotten off to their best start in years, as Sacramento currently boasts a very respectable 16-14 record, which is good for being tied for 8th in the Western Conference. And the great thing about this for the Kings and their fans is that this is just the beginning. Their team will only continue to get better as their young players mature. And head coach of the Sacramento Kings, Dave Joerger, has some extremely high expectations for this team, specifically for De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagely, as he went as far as to say that De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagely will be the next Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant within the next 5 years. There's no veiled shots at anybody. When we drafted Bagely at 2, we were high-fiving like crazy. We got the right guy for us. This isn't going to be a story in 3 days, and it will definitely be buried in 5 years from now when we have the next Durant and Westbrook. That's how good they're going to be. And of course, this comes right after the Kings were facing some scrutiny for selecting Marvin Bagely in the draft over Luka Doncic, who seems to be one of the best players coming out of the NBA draft that we've had in many years. So this was pretty much Dave Joerger sticking up for his guys, saying that we were excited that we got Marvin Bagely and we still believe that he is going to be a huge part of this franchise moving forward. That being said, comparing two young players to such high profile athletes like Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook isn't something that should be done lightly. I mean, those are some very hefty expectations for a coach to have of his young players. Now, De'Aaron Fox is already showing signs that he's going to be a phenomenal point guard, one of the elite point guards in the NBA for many years to come. So to say at the very least that he'll be an all-star caliber player is a safe bet, but then we have the comparison of Marvin Bagely to Kevin Durant, and we all know that it's just way too early for that. And Marvin Bagely may not be living up to a lot of the expectations that people were placing on him when he was coming out of college, but it's not like he's been awful, averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds per game, shooting the ball extremely well too, and only getting around 23 minutes of action per night. By all regards, he's having a very solid rookie season, but to say that he's going to be the next Kevin Durant in 5 years, those aren't expectations that you should put upon any rookie, because that's saying that in 5 years, Marvin Bagely has to become one of the greatest scorers that the league has ever seen. He can't just be good. He can't just be an all-star. The man has to be one of the greatest scorers that the league has ever seen. And I don't know how you can justify that high of expectations. Next up in the news, even though a lot of us thought that the Phoenix Suns received Austin Rivers in that trade with the Washington Wizards for Trevor Ariza was because the Suns desperately needed a point guard, it turns out that that wasn't the case, as despite the fact that the Phoenix Suns still don't have an actual point guard, they have already announced that they will be releasing Austin Rivers immediately after acquiring him from Washington, which means that he will be an unrestricted free agent. And I think it's clear that the Suns are doing this because they feel as if adding Austin Rivers to their team might result in them getting more wins, which isn't a good thing. Granted, the Phoenix Suns are on their first 3-game winning streak in literally years. We all know that more wins for the Phoenix Suns team right now isn't a good thing, since they are once again trying to get as high of a draft pick as they possibly can. This is great news for some other team though. They could be looking to add some depth to their bench, especially at the guard position, because of Austin Rivers. Now, he hasn't been that great so far this season, only averaging around 7 points per game on 39% shooting from the field. We all know that this isn't the norm for Austin Rivers over the past couple of years. He has shown us that he can be a very valuable piece coming off someone's bench, and I know there are going to be a lot of teams looking into adding his services, maybe even his old team. He may end up reuniting with Doc back in LA. And for what will be the final part of the news in this video, we have an update on the Brandon Ingram Los Angeles Lakers situation. Now, I think most fans do expect Brandon Ingram to be traded away from the Los Angeles Lakers at some point, as it has been made clear so far this year that he might not be the worst fit alongside LeBron James. At the same time, the man is far from an ideal fit to play alongside LeBron James. Clearly, there are other players out there that LA he could turn to get better performance alongside LeBron James. And Ingram could very well be used as a trade piece to land a player that can play better alongside LeBron James. And a Brandon Ingram trade wouldn't just be beneficial to LeBron and the Lakers, but also to Ingram himself, as with this Los Angeles Lakers team playing alongside LeBron James, he will never be able to reach his full potential. And that is where this update comes in, as we got reports out yesterday from an NBA executive who says that he strongly believes the Los Angeles Lakers will look to trade Brandon Ingram this summer. I think they'll wait until this summer to look into a big move involving a player like Ingram. That gives them more time to get the best deal. He then went on to suggest names of players that Lakers will look into, such as Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum, and Anthony Davis, of course, if he does become available this summer as well. And then also noted that it would probably take Hart or Kuzma along with Ingram for the Lakers to land a star player like Beal, McCollum, or Davis. So that's the whole report that we got from this league executive. And this report in and of itself is nothing drastically different from what's been being said by us fans for really the past couple of months. The only difference, of course, is that it's actually coming from a league executive now. So yeah, do not expect the Lakers to trade Brandon Ingram at all this season. It's not going to happen unless Anthony Davis becomes available right now. As before they start dealing away any of their young talent, the Los Angeles Lakers are still going to see what they can get in free agency, since there's no point in the Lakers trading away Ingram for a player like Bradley Beal or CJ McCollum if they still feel like they have an opportunity to land Klay Thompson. That's that though. Now let's take a look at some other notable things going on in the NBA. And the first notable thing that we got to talk about today comes to us from the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Chicago Bulls last night, a game in which the Thunder were able to win easily. That being said, a bit of a scuffle did break out in the third quarter when Bulls guard Chris Dunn tried to go at Russell Westbrook before Jeremy Grant stepped in to defend Russell Westbrook. And I guess that angered Robin Lopez so mad that he went berserk, and then he had Steven Adams trying to play peacekeeper to the whole thing, even though he could have knocked everyone out easily. It was an absolute mess, but yeah, just take a look.
Block. And we get a reach and foul by Cameron Payne, and now that is a obvious shove, and Jeremy Grant just came over to defend, and now we got a melee here between Robin Lopez and Jeremy Grant as they are really going at it. Everybody coming over as Lopez got really ticked off after Grant came over to defend Westbrook. Adams, also another enforcer, came over as Lopez was as mad as any player in the NBA I've seen in a long time.
And he's normally a pretty docile guy.
And then not too long after this, Robin Lopez then mocked Jeremy Grant after he blocked him on the defensive end, which got Robin Lopez ejected from the game. I want to say that I think Robin Lopez might have some serious anger issues. The guy doesn't get mad and show emotions much, but when he does, it often ends up something like this. He goes from 0 to 100 real quick and you don't even know why. Stuff like this has happened in the past with Robin Lopez too. Man definitely has some underlying anger issues going on here. Next up, the NBA world isn't too happy with ESPN right now. As during a show that they aired yesterday, a host by the name of L. Duncan, when discussing whether or not Carmelo Anthony should be in the Hall of Fame, brought up the name Drazen Petrovic, and not in a good way at all, as he basically went on to say that if Drazen Petrovic, who was an absolute phenom overseas and one of the best European players that the league has ever seen, who sadly died right when he was entering his prime as a member of the Nets, yeah, well, she said that if he's in the Hall of Fame, that basically it can't be that hard to get into the Hall of Fame.
What is Melo's legacy? National champion as a teenager, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, top 20 scorer all time, all-star, all-NBA, all day, Melo a surefire Hall of Famer.
That doesn't really mean much with names like Drazen Petrovic there.
Okay, well, but Drazen Petrovic didn't leave his mark on the game like Melo did.
Okay.
And like I said, this has a lot of fans upset with the reporting that ESPN just did, because that is just some straight up disrespect right there. And the last notable thing that we had to cover from last night regards around James Harden, as he was the performer of the night. As last night, James Harden led the Rockets to a win over the Utah Jazz, and this win gets the Rockets back above the 500 mark this year. And James Harden in this game had 47 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals as well. And over the last 5 games, Harden has been amazing, averaging 38.6 points while shooting over 50% from the field as well. The Rockets have gone 4-1 won during that stretch. So James Harden definitely deserves the Player of the Night award here. That though is everything that we gotta talk about for today. Here's a look at the updated standings as of right now in the NBA. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well as smack that like button. Show your support for the channel and for the series. Thank you once again for watching though. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs. That being said, until tomorrow, I am out of here. Peace!